So the first 4 episodes of Stranger Things Season 5 have dropped, and I am very concerned. While I want to say I enjoyed the episodes for the most part overall, one thing has just been absolutely gnawing at me ever since I finished them, and that's the unbelievable amount of plot armor that our main characters have, how it took me out of the story when I was watching, and how I am very concerned that this plot armor is going to remain going into the final act of the season, and ultimately just tarnish the show overall. The first really egregious moment of plot armor in this season is the fact that Ted and Karen Wheeler don't die. Karen specifically is just really egregious. We watch her fight for her life to protect her daughter and herself. And then we watch her ribs get stabbed with these essentially long knives. And then we watch her upper chest and throat get torn to shreds by a Demogorgon that we've seen essentially kill everyone that it interacts with. I mean, these Demogorgons are able to tear soldiers apart when they're wearing armor and vests and headgear. Just Karen, in her lounge attire, is not going to be protected from the slash. And I really thought that Stranger Things was locked in. When I saw that Karen Wheeler possibly died at the end of the first episode, I was shocked. I was like, oh shit, they are locked in. There's stakes this season. Our characters are in danger. There is a real looming threat that people are not safe. And then the second they started the next episode off with her being wheeled into the hospital, I knew that she was going to be perfectly fine, and I absolutely hate this cliche in storytelling where a character very much should be dead, they're about to die, and then off screen they somehow get to the hospital in time, even though they most definitely would have died if this was real. It just always takes me out and tells me that, well, our character is going to be safe this season, and there really isn't much to worry about. And this only gets worse when you get to episode 4. At the end of episode 4, Vecna is coming through the portal. All of the military people are dead or dying. Our main characters are laid out and scared. And Joyce steps up to Vecna and is just like ready to 1v1 her. And she should be dead. There's no way around it. Vecna is merciless. He kills everybody he can get his hands on as quick as possible. He's just an absolute monster. And instead of using the tree move that he did on the army guy, instead of snapping her bones like he's done with so many other characters, he just pushes her out of the way. Not even hard. He pushes her nice and lightly. She nicely lands over there in the corner, and then just wakes up 2 seconds later to see Will saving the day. And I get it. It's Stranger Things. I know people aren't expecting it to be hardcore. I'm not expecting this to be prime A Song of Ice and Fire levels of killing characters, but it just really is a bummer that all of the stakes have been removed. And no one's really talking about it right now because we're in the hype phase. Everyone's really happy with Stranger Things. But me personally, I find it very frustrating that it really does look like no one is going to die this season. This is getting into potential future spoilers and tinfoil stuff, so if you don't want to hear that, please click off. But I saw apparently a leaked image of Steve and Dustin just on set for the ending of Stranger Things Season 5, and I heard a rumor that essentially no one in the main cast actually dies, and everyone makes it out alive. And I know a lot of people are going to love that because they love these characters and don't want anything bad to happen to them, but man, if there are truly no stakes involved for our main characters, no threats of like their potential future getting heavily altered, I'm just going to be fully removed by the end of the story, and the rewatchability is going to be plummeting for me personally. I think 2 shows that do consequences very well are the earlier seasons of Game of Thrones and the earlier parts of Arcane. In both shows, even when you have main characters, even when you have beloved characters, when they fuck up, when they make really bad mistakes, when they're put in harm's way, they aren't immortal. The plot doesn't just protect them. Take the Red Wedding, for example. Robb Stark makes a bunch of mistakes, and he gets killed for it. Take Milo and Claggor in Season 1 of Arcane. We know that Powder is unleashing a gigantic bomb, and unfortunately her family is caught in the crossfire, and they aren't just safe because they're our main characters. No, they die because they were caught in harm's way, they were in the wrong place at the wrong time, and shit happens if we're just being honest. And the fact that Stranger Things just seems to be completely removing this element from the story, and it very much does look like this is going to be a perfectly happy ending where everyone ends up fine and everyone ends up having a good old jolly time. It's just such a bummer, because what I really loved about the earlier seasons of the show was the darker tone, the grittiness, the eeriness, the way the show just felt. And in Stranger Things Season 5, even though there's fun to definitely be had, it just really felt like it lost that core, and that's unfortunate. So yeah, with all that being said, if you want to see more Stranger Things content from the channel, please let me know in the comment section down below, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Peace.